Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Asking Event Pro. It's Francisco, product evangelist at Events.com. Today's episode will be about building buzz around your event, mainly in social media, and with us today we have an expert for that. Her name is Michelle Kempton, and she's the race director for the Maritime race weekend. Michelle, welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me over.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Michelle, I'm just going to ask you some questions. We really appreciate your time here, kind of sharing some of your insights, sharing some of the expertise that you have around social media and marketing your event. So if you're ready, we'll go ahead with the first question.
Sounds great.
Fantastic, Michelle. Now, I do have a question that I like to ask everyone because it's kind of cool, it's kind of fun. What is one tool, digital or otherwise, that you couldn't live without on race day?
On race day, it definitely isn't digital because I'm so busy. I would say zip ties. Sharpies and zip ties are the race director's favorite thing. I actually, by the time I get to race day, I'm not on my phone much or on social media because we're just so busy getting all the details ready.
Absolutely, zip ties. We've gotten that one before, so everyone that's listening, take notes, make sure that you have those available on race day. If you're just getting started, they can be very, very helpful on race day. Now, Michelle, thank you for that. Now, we want to know what is, now going into the social media questions, some of the social media channels that you find are the most effective on building the buzz around your race that you're able to.
It's definitely Facebook. I know, there's people are on lots of different ones. I focus mostly on Facebook. People easily share, and with our demographic, that seems to be the mass. If I do a contest on Facebook and I do one on Twitter, it's crazy. It's like 20 times, 30 times more on Facebook.
Got it. Absolutely. Now, I understand Facebook. You can do obviously the free marketing, free social media advertising, which is one of the benefits of a platform like Facebook, but you can also purchase some paid advertising there. So we would love to know if you have a dedicated social media budget, and how do you decide where to spend it?
I think it would surprise a lot of people to know we actually do not buy anything with Facebook. We do everything. We have no budget for it because we're not for profit. I post, and we're very fortunate to have a really engaged audience. And so we're just about to hit 6,000 followers, which isn't too bad for a race that has 5,000 participants over the weekend. So we actually have never purchased the boost and all of that. And I know some people have. But I try to rely on the loyalty of my actual followers who are really engaged and love the race. They are my best spokespeople for the whole thing.
Got it. Okay, that is very impressive. No spending any money on marketing, and yet you have very, very efficient social media campaigns that you put on. So maybe you can talk to us a little about that. What makes an effective social media contest, for example?
Well, timing is most important with any contest. I've implemented the exact same contest at different times of the month, different times of the day, and sometimes it will be a huge hit and sometimes a total dud. So you really need to know when your participants are online. Monday morning around 10 when they've already checked their email, now they're checking Facebook, or rainy days on Saturdays, things like that. And I would expect that, though there is some trends, and Facebook can probably tell you the most important times to be on social media, I find with my participants, I kind of now know when they're around, and that's when I put it out, because then it shows up in your news feed right at the top. Because that's the other thing is I find is if you hit it at the wrong time, it's not that effective. The other thing is, though, it depends on what your goal is. So if I'm, sometimes I'll do a contest where the goal is actually to have 20 or 30 participants, and others I want thousands. So how it's different is, for example, if I'm trying to promote one of my sponsors and brand loyalty is important, I've done for Brooks Running, for example, a sneaker selfie contest. We know going in, it's only going to be people who own Brooks that are going to take those photos because that's what the contest is for. But
right.
it builds some brand, it shows brand loyalty. It also has their sneaker out there in a photo, which is so important on social media. And for example, I have one right now for Canadian running. We were picked as top 8 destination races in Canada. So we want that news to spread. The best way to do that is through contests. So I did 2 different contests for that one. For the masses, because I want everybody to see that we were in the magazine, we took a photo of one of our pirates, because we're a pirate-themed race, reading the magazine saying, guess what? We're top 8. Like and share, and you can win registration. So that, there's probably, I think when I look at my numbers, over 20,000 people have seen that contest. And it shows my sponsor in the photo, but it also is just easy for people to do, right? It has to be easy or you're not going to get the hits. But then I also have a contest for the same announcement that is more about quality of views. So people have to actually take a photo of themselves reading the magazine. That takes effort. So if we get 30 people doing that, we think we've done well. Right? So it really, it does depend on what your objective is and what the sponsor wants and, how you're trying to spread it. The like and share, I think everybody knows, is a jackpot every time. You're going to get so many people see it, like it, share it. And I don't know exactly how the Facebook algorithms work, but it seems to be the more shares and likes you get, then it even becomes more stronger in the news feeds. So that's like, I think Facebook 101. You need to do like and share contests.
Absolutely, that's very
creative. Being creative though makes it more fun and engaging.
Totally, that makes complete sense, and that's very interesting, very helpful. Timing, like you say, that's huge. Understanding when most of your audience is on Facebook, so that they are getting the posts real time, if you will, or close to, is key, and then making it simple for them to share. You talk about the Facebook algorithm, right? You basically what we want our user or our Facebook users that are putting on advertising and things like that to understand is it depends on the weight of the interaction, right? So sharing something with your networks and family and friends is a lot more important, if you will, for Facebook than just liking a post, right? So that makes complete sense, and thank you so much. Now, talk to us a little bit about messaging. How does your messaging differ on social media before, during, and after the race?
Yeah, well, before I'm encouraging sales. That's our, actually, we do not use print at all. We don't print rack cards, and some races still print rack cards, and that's their main. We actually do not print anything. So Facebook and Twitter are our main way that will generate sales. So in order to do that, I need to offer incentives to register. So we'll put on contests and let them know, hey, register before midnight, we're doing 5 draws, that type of thing. We do registration updates. Hey, our race sells out every year, so the push is get in before it sells out. So that would be different for races that aren't capped. But for us, that's a major thing. We also do our reveals on social media. That is huge. And also encouraging, so for example, we create in training badges and encourage people to put them on as their Facebook pages and as their profile, things like that. So it is really sales driven. Once we sell out, the gears change. We still will have contests because that's important 12 months of the year. Even if you're not trying to sell your spots, you need to promote your sponsors, which you need to have contests. So I'll also, my behind the scenes, I have a blog on Canadian Running called Behind the Scenes that kind of reveals what happens. How do you create a race? What are the fun and not so fun parts of being in a race? So I'll post that. Those articles go weekly on Canadian Running Magazine, but then I will also repost them on all our Facebook and Twitters and ask people to share. So, and those kinds of things, I think, like the runners want to know more than just, they want to win contests, of course, but they want to know what's going on. Like what happens with your race? Why is this such a big deal? And it also is a great way to educate people on what really it takes to put on a race, right? That it takes 12 months. And that's been a great tool for us to educate people. And then during race weekend, I'm actually not on social media a lot during race weekend because we're putting up fences, we're dealing with police. We do have a couple people from our pirate crew, which is what we call our volunteers, that will do some tweets for us. The biggest challenge, I think, for a lot of races is keeping up with the runners tweeting on race weekend, like retweeting them and that type of thing. And that is important. So you have to have somebody that you trust that can keep the same message going while you're not there, because the race director is busy with other things. And then after, it's celebrating the success. So we decided this year to actually make free race photos for all of our runners. So we hired 5 or 6 photographers along the route, and we posted photo albums up on our Facebook page. And people would share, like they had to actually go and find themselves, which is a little bit cumbersome. It's not like when you hire a company that does it by checking your bib, right? So it was a little bit like people actually have to go through all the photos to find themselves, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing because it makes them, realize other people that were in the race. And we encourage people to tag friends and tag themselves. So as soon as you tag yourself in a photo, it shows up on your Facebook wall.
Right.
And the amount of Facebook likes that we got after race weekend, it blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. And so we're always trying to get people to tag their friends, tag themselves, and that type of thing, and that really helps to build the audience of like-minded people without having to purchase their likes.
Very, very interesting. Thank you, Michelle. Now, I assume there is a lot of people that read your blogs that are maybe thinking about or just getting started with a race or a series. Now, for those that are maybe getting started and trying to build a community in social media for the race from scratch, this can be very difficult, right? So what is some advice you have for them, for these people that are just getting started in social media? They want to get to 6,000 followers like you organically, which is more valuable. What is some advice you have for them?
Well, Maritime Race Weekend's only 5 years old next year, so it's not like we've been around a long time. But what I did do, I did not purchase any lists or followers. I did, like you said, went the organic way. I first started with my own friends and local run clubs and asked them to like the Facebook page. Had a lot of contests, like everyday contests. It needs to really be busy, so then they keep seeing this Maritime Race Weekend everywhere. And I mean, even now we're posting daily, so it's not like it's 12 months of the year type thing. And of course, most races have mailing lists, and I'm trying to get away from mass mail by getting my followers on Facebook. So I have actually sent an email to my emails. Like I have a mailing list of 9,000 people. At least once a year I'll say, please allow me to not fill your inbox by just liking us on Facebook. Then the more Facebook likes I have, I don't have to email you every week. I can just tell you on Facebook. And I do see a surge of likes when I request that I stop filling their inbox, just go follow me. I avoid paying for them. It just takes a little bit of sweat to get it done. Now Twitter, I know you can purchase followers there too, and I never have. I don't know what our number is. I think it's 3,500 followers on Twitter. And I actually avoid liking people that have like 10,000 likes. I try to get runners. Like that's who I want. I want runners to follow me because they're the ones registering, not so much businesses, unless they're my sponsors, that type of thing. To build my my Twitter, I actually went and looked at other local races, so not national races, local races, and followed their followers. Because obviously these people are interested in road races, totally. And then they follow me back, and so if there's a large race in our city called Blue Nose, well, they have 5,000 followers. Well, if I follow their followers, likely those people are interested in my topic because it's the same thing, right? So that's exactly what I did to start. Now, I don't spend as much time now following other people's followers because it seems to just be growing naturally by posts and retweets and that type of thing. But engaging these people with prizes and making your page active is how to sustain it. Because that's the other thing, is you can build it, and then if you just go dead, they're going to be bored. They'll unlike or that type of thing, or unfollow. So we do definitely, it's probably 2 or 3 hours a day on social media is my job. And I honestly don't know how races ever built themselves before social media. It must have been excruciating, and a lot of paper flyers. Like it baffles me. And actually, I did a blog post for Canadian Run last week on behind the scenes saying I credit social media for the success of Maritime Race Weekend. It's for a race to go, and in Nova Scotia on the east coast of Canada where we are, race is 1,000-person race. Is pretty big. So, we have a massive race that has 10,000 people, and then most races after that are about 1,000. And, in only 4 years, or actually I think it was year 3, we capped it at 2,500 people each day. So 5,000 for both because we're a double race weekend. And it is social media that helped us get there.
Absolutely. It's funny you bring that up, the fact that you are doing less mass emails, more social media. I was reading an article, and it said that basically people nowadays understand more than ever when they're being targeted with a traditional marketing vehicle such as a mass email. And they, a lot of times, don't like it. They'll just delete it. They'll see it in their inbox and delete it, not even open it. Whereas if they're getting a brand sent to them via their networks, their friends on social media, this peer-to-peer recommendation is what they prefer. This is what piques their interest. So everyone that's in the audience, please, I encourage you to read about this a little bit more, and it makes sense, right? So when you are thinking of your marketing, definitely use social media as one of your biggest tools, because that's what your audience is expecting. They want to hear from their networks, their peers, and obviously with Maritime Race Weekend, Michelle, you've done a fantastic job, and I think the fact that you're so involved in social media is one of the biggest reasons there.
And I think too, the posts that when I see different people attempting to use social media, sometimes they're using it, but they're not using it effectively. Like they're just putting posts that are text-based, not using a photo that will, when you're scrolling through your feed, go, whoa, what's that photo? Exactly. That's like, it's really photos that, they say a photo's 1,000 words, or I don't know what the exact saying is, but it's true. When you have a photo with a quick little, 20 words, that's all you need. When you have to go and click more on a Facebook thing to read it, most people aren't going to read more, right? They're just going to see the first line. I started doing things last year like making my headers block and putting those characters, greater than, less than signs on each side to arrow in. So if you go to Maritime Race Weekend, you'll see like my post, the like and share and win, everything's in the top line, and I'm using either stars or arrows to direct people to the first line, which is the most important, which is win. And so go and take a look at my page and kind of look at how I don't have long posts. They're very short, snappy, and everything from sharing photos from racers to contests. It needs to constantly be changing. It can't all just be contests too. But announcing winners and getting people to tag each other, that type of thing. If you go look at some of the contests we've had in the last year, a lot of them involve tagging. Photo contests and tagging, those seem to be the most effective.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm certainly always looking at the picture that I've been tagged on before anything, right? So that's fantastic. Michelle, thank you so much for your time. This has been very insightful. I'm sure a lot of us have learned a lot from you and how to better manage our marketing through social media. We look forward to having you again on the show so you can expand maybe a little bit more on your blogging and other types of traditional marketing that you do. And for everyone that's been listening, thank you so much. This is Ask an Event Pro, your host, Francisco. product evangelist at Events.com. And don't forget to tune in every Thursday at 11:15 p.m. Pacific, 1:15 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thanks.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye-bye, everyone.